All right. Happy Thursday night, everybody. Overrated, underrated, rated right. Thursday around Raiderland. We're looking for your comments tonight. Glad to be with you in the Arctic Air Studios. Plenty of Texas Tech football, basketball, and everything else to talk about tonight. We've got that. Bill Belichick, not crazy going to UNC. We told you on the 60 seconds of Raiderland commentary today why. We'll echo that. We really want to hear from you. So the early arrivals, let us know the audio is good, video is good. Give us thumbs up, then share it with your friends on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And it's easy to do from there, and that's what we want to do today. All right. So that's what's happening tonight here on the show. Shall we begin? I think we can. In three, in two, good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. You started your day there on the website because that's where you go. Find out the question of the day. What are we talking about? What are we looking at? You get the Raiderland hot links, fresh, hot, every morning, made to order. The coolest links around Raiderland and beyond. We're brought to you by Lifts West Hotel and Condominium in Red River, New Mexico. It's probably a little close to Christmas to try to get in there. Skiing's great. You might try New Year's, probably a better chance. But on into January, February, and March, the ski season is great this year. You need to call our friend Billy at Lifts West Hotel and Condominium. It's great. Families so close to the mountain. I mean, it's not ski in, ski out technically. I mean, you maybe could do it, but it's not a horrible walk by any stretch of the imagination. And it's like 3 minutes by load up in the. It takes you longer to load up in the car and get out of the car than it does to drive over to the mountain there from Lifts West. Also brought to you by the Shropshire Agency in Lubbock, Texas, an independent insurance agency, just like you guys. Going into 2025, make sure your insurance is up to date for your business, your home, your family, your church, whatever you. I mean, you might be on a board at church and you're like, how the heck do we know if we're spending too much? You call the Shropshire Agency. They're heavily invested in the community in Lubbock, Texas. Great partners of ours. And everybody who jumps in tonight, whether you're on Facebook Live, whether you're on our YouTube channel, I hope you guys have all subscribed to it. If you haven't, do so tonight. Or on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. United Supermarkets taking care of you. There's one grocery store in town that puts their name on stuff at Texas Tech, sends the money down to Texas Tech. There's another one that takes your money and sends it down somewhere else. All right, Craig says the talking box is on. Indeed, Craig, the talking box is on tonight. The question becomes, what are we going to talk about tonight? Tech football in the transfer portal, getting some offensive lineman pickups, obviously. We talked about Hunter Zambrano last night out of Illinois State. Another defensive back today. We can talk about that. We can talk about basketball. Or we can talk about, and this is what I want to talk about tonight. Seriously, I want to get this going early and often. Over, under, and rated right Thursday Christmas songs. The Christmas songs that are overrated that maybe everybody seems to like, but you're just like, no, this is an overrated song. This is not good. Underrated Christmas songs that nobody, and I gave you an underrated one today, but it's not the ultimate underrated Christmas song. I wanted to see if anybody would come in with it. All right. So we'll see. Maybe somebody will. And then those that are rated right, like the best ones are rated right. And the rated right for me is the ultimate, the gold standard. Santa Claus is coming to town, Gene Autry. Nothing better. It's incredible. Great message. Wonderful stuff. So let's do some over, under, rated right, and everything else. All the other stuff, you guys jump in, fire away your comments, questions, and everything else. D. Wayne first because I'm the best listener in Ryan's fave. Fact check. Well, not quite first, but close. Tonight. He goes by, or she goes by the name YouTube user. Sounds great on YouTube. If I can believe you. Overrated Christmas song, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. Dreadful, horrible. We love Brenda Lee, but horrible. It's an earworm. It's brutal. And in junior high, I had to do a theater arts deal and had to dance to that on freaking stage. It was awful. Holly and the Ivy, so underrated. Not familiar. Give me something. Robert's on YouTube. That's a channel, not a drug. I believe UNC is a sleeping giant in football. Why do you believe that? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, why do you believe that? And then correct. Underrated. Do you hear what I hear? Nah, not underrated for me. That would be either rated right or overrated. Not one of my favorites at all. And we're going popular. We're going hymnal. We're going singing at church, singing, at the, Tri Highway and Highway Youth Group or whatever, Young Life. Always there was a guy at Young Life and the acoustic guitar. Hey, I'm 24 years old and hanging around 17-year-olds. I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything. Now we call them youth pastors. Not saying anything. That was wrong. I apologize. No, do you hear what I hear? Nah. Not gonna make my list of good ones. So that's where we are tonight. If you're just getting in, my watch is slowing down. I got to get a new battery for this thing. It's not off that much, but slowing down a little bit. Just slowing down. So Tech football, we can talk about. It's too early to talk about the bowl game. So we're more about the portal. Do you like what they're doing in the portal so far? Do you like the linemen that have come in? Do you like where it's going? Today, and you probably haven't had a chance to see it, but the new offensive and defensive coordinator spoke to the media at 1:30. David Collier came back 28. He was there. He heard the whole thing. He sat through the whole thing. Ain't nothing better than listening to policy wonk guys. See, coordinators are the policy wonk guys for the most part of college football. And I mean, they are in the weeds. So you're in the weeds. But you'll get a chance to hear that. Maybe you've already heard it at 6:30 on KMAC 28, Red Raider Nation. Maybe tonight. We'll link the whole presser. That's one of the things we do on the hot links in the morning. We give you, in case you miss it, and most people do, like entire press conference links and everything else you can do. So do you like what you've seen so far? The guys going out versus the guys going in, because that's really what the portal is right now, right? Oops, hit the wrong button. YouTube user, underrated is joy to the world from Mark. Oh, Mark. Mark. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Watched Frosty the Snowman last night on TV. Kids blatantly stole the magician's hat. I have a totally different outlook on the cartoon as an adult. They really did. They ripped him off, and they knew that pretty much Frosty, from the day he showed up, let's be honest, he's in hospice, right? Frosty the Snowman, from the day he shows up, he's in hospice care. He's going away soon. Might come back. We don't know. He's made up of leftover parts. The Frosty the Snowman cartoon show that they're not good. Not good. Substandard, in my opinion. Jan's a great Tech fan. Little Drummer Boy, just right. I like. Do you hear what I hear? Went to Nutcracker last night. Hopefully, God, let's hope that was some sort of pageant or something. Very good this year. Don't know where it was, but I hope it was good. Little Drummer Boy. 100% most overrated Christmas song of all time. It's pedantic. It has no redeemable quality, in my opinion, from a acoustical or vocal standpoint. It is just a plotting of music. And then we get into the whole idea of this thing, this sad little story about this street urchin that shows up, and while the new Light of the World is trying to catch some Z's, he's banging on a drum. I mean, Mary's like, get the hell out of here. What are you doing? He's trying to sleep. Oh, no, I got a parumpa-pum-pum on my drum. I got to play my drum. You don't have to play the drum. Chill out a little bit. Let the kids sleep. He didn't smile at you. He had gas. But what was Mary doing? Joseph, total abject of a father in that moment, in my opinion. I mean, you got people showing up. You're in a barn. You got people showing up left and right, doing all this stuff. Let the kids sleep. Meanwhile, again, kid can't sing, got nothing to offer. He's banging on a drum, and it goes on and on and on and on. Overrated, overrated song. It comes on, knob changer for me. 100% on the Little Drummer Boy. I don't care if Gomer Powell sang it good one time. D Wayne is on our YouTube channel. By the way, everybody who watches, jump on YouTube, go to our page, subscribe, like it. Everybody who's watching right now on YouTube, give us thumbs up, gives us great metrics. It helps everything. We really want to hit 500 subscribers on YouTube by the new year. You guys can make it happen. Again, you can watch where you want to watch and do what you want to do. You know, subscribe to all the platforms: YouTube, Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. I heard the Bells by Casting Crowns, underrated. I heard the bell. Oh, I heard the Bells by Casting Crowns. Okay, CJ, none of that makes sense to me. And let me tell you right now, before anybody jumps in with a pentatonics thing, overrated, dead to me. Thank you very much. Buddy Holly Center, Ballet Lubbock. Okay, there you go. I'm sure it was good. Overrated, Mary Do You Know? Well, gee, I don't know. Let's go to the scriptures. Do you think she knew? Do you? It was pretty much laid out. Over grandma got run over by a reindeer. Is that still a thing? That was an early mid 80s deal. I can't remember the name of it was like a man and a woman name band thing that did that. I hadn't heard it in years. I don't think radio even plays it. Hopefully they don't. You know? Don't know. I'm going to bring this up because don't know what it means. So the overrated, underrated, rated right Christmas songs. We got tech football to talk about. Transfer portal. Are you happy with it? Basketball thoughts. We will get into Bill Belichick going to UNC. It's not crazy, and it just might work, and we'll explain why. But I'm telling you, it's completely not crazy. And I do have not like inside on this, but a little bit of inside on this. I think maybe more so than some media types, particularly around here, but that's cool. That's what I do. So all of those things, whatever else is on your mind, we want to hear from you. So fire away the questions, comments, and everything else. Jump in, thanks to United Supermarkets in Market Street, where I saw today, yesterday, but I didn't get it. They had peanut brittle, which is one of the great holiday snacks. All right. Your comments, make it go. We'll go as long as your comments are making it fun. I will give you here in just a second my overrated, underrated, rated right. All I want for Christmas, Danny Hendry says, is you, the Mariah Carey version, wildly overrated. Favorite all time for me, Oh Holy Night. Good hymn, good solid hymn. And maybe we need to make like classifications like hymns, like actual, you'll find it in a hymnal type deal. Oh, Come All Ye Faithful, number one, best all time. Nothing beats Oh, Come All Ye Faithful. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Mariah Carey has made a living off it for 25 years or however long it is now. And it's just horrible. It's not good. There's not been a great new Christmas song written in the last 45 years. You know? D. Wayne, not happy with the portal. Too many FCS and G5 players. Not enough P4. Okay, but here's the deal: that a lot of those P4 guys aren't necessarily transferring to P4. They're staying where they are. But the idea is to grow, get old, stay old, and bring them up. It's like working your way through the minors to the majors. So don't let that make you hate any of these guys. Like the Hunter Zambrano guy, number 4 offensive tackle in the portal anywhere, any place. All right. Doesn't matter that he's coming from an Illinois State. Don't worry about that. Dude can play, dude can't play. It's like baseball players now. We've seen this the last 4 years coming up through the ranks in baseball. And you start off at a small school, you prove you can pitch, you go here, you go there. You've got to reframe your mind. You've got a mind virus right there that you immediately say not enough G5, or well, there's no G5 anymore, you know. What you mean is small school, big school. That's what you mean. Rated right, Jingle Bells. Yeah, I mean, it's Jingle Bells. Meanwhile, David Collier shows up and just goes, whoa. I mean, he's on TV. He writes for a living. He does a radio show here locally from whenever he's on to whenever he's off. I never know. I'm not being funny here, David. I actually have no idea what time the show is that you're on, like 9 to 11, 12, something. And I get, whoa. I get, whoa. What the hell is whoa? Whoa fat, maybe, from Hawaii Five-0. Yeah, overrated is Little Drummer Boy. Underrated, one of my underrated songs, not the most underrated song. Sit tight, Collier. I'm going to get to you. Don't worry. Is Paul McCartney Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. It's great. It's fun. It's like everything that John Lennon wasn't. Smart, intelligent, crafty, good writing, and a guy who loved life. That's right. I said it. Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. It endures 40 years later, 45 years later. It's doing good. I like it. And then we said the rated right, Gene Autry, the gold standard, Santa Claus is coming to town. Listen to the lyrics all the way through. Listen to the whole thing. It's got a great message. At a time when people needed a great message like that in the United States of America. Sit tight, Collier. I'm getting to you. Don't worry. Don't go away. Jordan, The Spirit of Christmas by Ray Charles. Wildly, not highly, wildly underrated. Overrated, underrated, rated right Christmas songs. And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the number one all-time forgotten, best, greatest, underrated Christmas song of all time, Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses. The Waitresses were a new wave punk spin-off band from the late 70s into the early 80s. In the mid 80s, they were tasked by the record company of trying to come up with a Christmas song. They had to put a Christmas song, and they wrote it in the car and in the studio on the way. And Christmas Wrapping now, it's kind of found a new life here 35 years later. That you'll hear it on Sirius XM. Mainly, you don't hear it on a lot of terrestrial radio. Most of you have never heard of it, but Christmas Wrapping is indeed one of the greatest underrated Christmas songs of all time. 100%. I'm impressed Collier came up with that. It's about 10 years before his wheelhouse. I'd like to hear the backstory on how you know about this. The Waitresses also were derailed. One of the two singers in the Waitresses had huge, incredible stage fright. Like she could hardly, so by the mid 80s, she can't perform on stage with them anymore. I mean, she could not go out there. The band, I think, was dead and gone by the late 80s, if they made it that far. But yes, Christmas Wrapping, if you've never heard it, it is excellent. Well done. And literally a protest song by the band to the record company that said, you have to do this. We don't want to do this. So they tried to come up with like the worst thing they could do and deliver. And okay, you want a song? We'll give you this. How about you take this and put it out? They did. And here it is all these years later. Fake Natalie Maines, who may or may not be the real Natalie Maines. Dear Hyatt, how are you? Well, I am fine myself. Fake Natalie Maines, I am fine. The best Christmas song, hands down, Christmas in Hollis? Christmas in Hollis? Christmas in Harlem? Christmas in Hollis. I don't think Hollis is right. I don't think that's right. Thank you for giving us the Christmas songs that you love. You give us. Love you. Love you too. I don't think that's right. Christmas in Hollis, I don't think that's right. Raider to Right, the Christmas song, Nat King Cole version. That's pretty good. Yeah. Chris says, Let It Be Christmas by Alan Jackson. Underrated. And then, of course, the great Joe Torre, New York Yankees manager Joe Torre, the Christmas song. I don't know whether that's Mel Torme. Oh, that's rated right, overrated, or rated wrong. My wife got Mel Torme and Joe Torre confused one time. Underrated. Please Come Home for Christmas. The Eagles version. Don't know that I've ever heard it. Fantastic songs. I'll Be Home for Christmas. Glenn Campbell version and Silver Bells, the Twisted Sister version. I need a link. I don't know if you can do that in the comments. I need Twisted Sister, Silver Bells. Thanks for playing. Goodness. I don't know that one. Hey, let's talk about Bill Belichick and North Carolina. When we first started hearing this earlier this week and everything else, I'm kind of like, all right, whatever. Maybe, maybe not. Obviously, he gets the job. So let's back up a little bit. For the last 2 years, Bill Belichick has pretty much gone to every NFL team that had an opening and said, I'll coach your team. I want to coach again. I want to be a coach in the NFL. And every NFL franchise, without fail, has either not agreed to his, and I'm not going to say demands, but his structure, his control, or whatever, his vision, or they just flat out said, no, we're not going to hire a 71, 72-year-old head coach. We're not going to hire you. He wanted to coach. If he could have gotten an NFL head coaching job, he would have taken it. He didn't want a college coaching job. And what he did this week is he didn't take a college coaching job. Make no mistake about it. Bill Belichick today, or yesterday, took an NFL coaching job. He told North Carolina, I'll take the job, but we're going to run it like an NFL franchise. Because you know what college football is now? It's the National Football League. But without certain things. You don't have a salary cap. You have unlimited free agency every year where you can build and acquire a roster at any given moment, basically, nearly even in season, seemingly. And you're not restricted by that. Did I mention no salary cap? You have no union to deal with, which allows you to have no salary cap. And when it comes to the X's and O's, college football and the NFL haven't been this closely aligned since the 1950s. Check that. 60s into the early 70s. The divergence in college football and NFL from an X's and O's schematic standpoint really occurred with the advent of the wishbone in the late 60s, early 70s in option football. The NFL could not run option football. So you had this split in the 70s and the 80s. This is a tangent. That's a different deal. But we've come back almost full circle with the advent of most college quarterbacks running out of the gun, out of the spread, not under center. Most NFL quarterbacks do that. All right, so the divergence in schematic everything doesn't exist the way it existed 70s, 80s, 90s, and so we don't have that. Defensively, for sure, there's not that big a deal. So Bill Belichick rolls in and basically says, I can run your show, and I will run your show like an NFL franchise. And what we're going to do is we're going to absolutely structure everything to tell the players we get, everything we do will be to get you to the NFL. We're going to win some games along the way, hopefully. We'd like to play for the ACC. What? We're in the ACC? We'd like to play for that. But the end goal that Belichick will be creating a AAA team, an unaffiliated team to the NFL. He's not wrong and he's not crazy. He hires Michael Lombardi, and this is where I have to do full disclosure. Michael Lombardi, longtime NFL executive, three-time Super Bowl winner, worked with Belichick. They're in New England, obviously, for many seasons. He has been with Visa and Vegas Stats and Information Network for the last several years. I've been on his show. He's done some things. He's been on my show. We developed I would say a friendship, more than acquaintances. I figure anybody you can like send a text message to, whatever, and get it. Anyhow, so he's hired him as basically his general manager. So I got a little skin in this game. So full disclosure there. But to sit here and just say categorically out of hand, this is nuts. It's not nuts. You see, Mac Brown was getting out because he hates the NFL. He doesn't want it. He wants to coach in the old college football deal. Bill Belichick is getting into college because it's becoming the NFL, and he wants to continue coaching in that realm. Do you get it yet? Do you see it? That the person who embraces it, the person who comes back down from the NFL and embraces that in college football, they have a great chance of success ahead of a lot of college people trying to figure out how to coach in the NFL. The NFL came to college football. This is not crazy. This is not stupid. This is not insane. This could actually work. And their NIL has gone from 4 to 20 million overnight. That was the Ohio State roster last year. Your cap is going to be, if the House settlement goes through, and I don't think it will, by the way, at around 22. But I think it's going to get blown up, and I think it's going to be the Wild West as far as the cap goes. The cap, there ain't going to be a cap. You want to spend $40 million on a roster, knock yourself out. So this ain't crazy. Belichick can win at North Carolina. And if you thought people were flocking to Deion Sanders, and they did, and he completely turned around a destitute program, and North Carolina is not barefoot and destitute. He's got a much bigger advantage than Deion had going there. Ask and you shall receive, United Supermarkets. The comments getting going again. Danny, there's the link. That's Twisted Sister. I want to hear that later. Danny, NCAA is now the NFL without the idiotic kickoff rules. Dynamic kickoffs. Stupid. Do you think we might see more NFL coaches coming to college football since it's basically the NFL now? Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember. Position coach for Cleveland was the number 2 guy for North Carolina. Younger guy, like 32 years old. Seriously. NFL coach. 100% you will see schools looking more towards people with NFL experience to run their NFL team. Randy, Christmas in Hollis is the right song. Most of the message got it wrong. Call it Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens. All right. I don't know why it doesn't sound right to me, but I'll take your word for it. Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney is a beating of the highest order. No, it's simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. It's a good song. Right message. NCAA football is now the NFL with a system. Apparently, the NFL didn't have systems that quarterbacks played in, the old system quarterback. David Carter, you sent me text messages. Does that make us friends? Not at all. No. Because you don't reply. See, for it to be friends, you have to reply. So, like Michael Lombardi replies, you don't reply. Or it's like 2 days later. Sorry, I was on the radio. Sorry, I was interviewing offensive and defensive coordinators today. You got to reply like within the 24-hour period. I think that would be the deal, right? You send somebody a text, they reply within 24 hours. All right, maybe a minute or so left. You guys did better than I thought. You really did. I didn't hold out a bunch of hope for you tonight. But you guys got after it. Over, underrated, right? Songs tomorrow, Friday. Most Texan thing you have done. I'll be on radio tomorrow in Lubbock on KFYO at 7:30. 7:30 in the morning with Tom Collins and Matt Crow. They're on KFYO 95.1 FM, so check that out. We'll have some more basketball. We may have some basketball news soon. Oh, I don't think you were at a Christmas concert. I think you were making that up. I really don't think you were. Randy, Stanford recently hired Andrew Luck to be their GM. You know what? You're right. They did. They plucked Andrew Luck off the scrap heap of forgotten football players who was just sitting around being a really smart guy. And the best thing about that was Dearest Mother was revived. Which, and that's, I'm not saying that's a bad hire by them. I forgot when Andrew Luck was a general manager and a capologist and has any experience whatsoever doing the job he's going to do. Just because you played in the NFL doesn't mean you have any idea whatsoever. Now, his dad is a well-known athletic director and executive and everything else, but they didn't hire Oliver Luck. They hired Andrew Luck. He may be good at math, but I looked at that Stanford hire and I said, that's really neat. He's never done anything like you want him to do. But he's a Stanford guy, so we know he's super smart, so it's going to be okay. It'll be okay. Basketball press conference tomorrow, 11:30. They get ready to take on ORU come Monday, which is nice of them to do a media avail in the morning before any of the sports directors or anybody in the media goes to work, which most of them go to work around 2 o'clock. So, yeah, they don't care. They don't give a crap. Why don't they just record it themselves, save everybody the time, have the SID or whoever ask the questions that they're going to be willing to answer, and just do that. It would save everybody time, but yeah, do it at 11:30. Ain't nobody care. How long until we see agents for college players? A year ago, 2 years ago, college players have agents. They have representation. They have people working on deals for them. The worst thing for the college players is that the agents are not regulated by Players Association and or a union. Therefore, if I'm an NFL agent, I can only charge 3% max. If I'm representing you as a college player, I can tell you got to pay me 15 or 20% of the deal I make. And if you agree to that, I get that. See, it's already happened. I have a radio show from 9 to 12. They do that from time to time. Yes. Oh, that's right. You're on the radio. I keep forgetting. Yeah. How long until we see agents? They already have them. Where have you been, Danny? Come on, Danny. Pay attention. I thought I educated you guys better than that. The radio show? I don't know. I've listened to it a couple of times. I wouldn't say it's funny. I mean, haha, or funny peculiar. What do you mean? You guys are pretty good tonight. I would implore and ask that you guys do one more thing for me tonight. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get over 500. That's a big deal, big metric. You don't have to watch it there. Just subscribe. You can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media or X or whatever. Then join us in the morning. Would like to break a record on number of people commenting and telling us the most Texan thing you have done this week. We enjoyed the hell out of the show tonight. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow. TheRaiderland.com.